This is Maya Hamburg reporting for the Blueprint News Network. Today's topic is stunning stories, powerful books that have left lasting impacts on DGS lives. With the increase in technology in the last few decades, people, especially teens, are trading their books for their phones. Rather than escaping reality in a fictional paperback world, kids spend most of their time watching movies or TV shows that, in my opinion, don't have quite the same impact as a good book. Whether it's a book that our school forces us to read or one that a student chooses for themselves, books share a powerful insight in our lives and current issues. Junior Ava Arthur, a member of the DGS Book Club, speaks on how one book in particular impacted her.
I think a book that has impacted me is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. The book deals with a lot of domestic violence and abuse, and I remember just sitting down after I finished it and kind of thinking about how I didn't realize that people in abusive relationships felt so trapped and so stuck. So it really kind of opened my eyes to a new perspective on people in abusive relationships.
It Ends With Us is a highly acclaimed novel that won a Goodreads Choice Award for Best Romance and has sold over 4 million copies. The heavy topic of domestic abuse drew in many readers and opened their eyes to the reality that so many face. The book emphasizes the importance of breaking cycles of abuse. The cycle ends with us, and it's truly an impactful read. Even if you aren't a fan of romance, it's a great novel to educate yourself about this issue and to raise awareness for those in an abusive situation. Books are impactful for different reasons, though. The book that impacted DGS librarian Christopher Rios the most is one that's so nostalgic and dear to his heart that he rereads it every few years.
I was I think it was the 7th or 8th grade. It was that summer, and I was already a reader, but I just happened to go up into the attic. I don't even remember what I was looking for or whatever. And I found my dad, who was a avid science fiction reader. He had these bags full of these old paperback sci-fi novels. And so I just started reading them. I just started ripping through them. But the one that sticks in my head, it's this old sci-fi book called Cities in Flight by this author named James Blish. I think that's what it is, Blish. But it's basically about this technology that allows them, it doesn't matter, there's no size limit and there's no speed limit. As long as you have enough power, they can basically just envelop cities in these giant bubbles and take off. And so all these cities from Earth are just leaving because they're yeah, we're done with this, and they just take off. And it's these different stories about what happens to the cities and everything.
Cities in Flight is a series containing 4 volumes of novels and short stories. Ultimately, the cities leave Earth because there is a lack of jobs and resources. And although the books were written in the 1950s, these economic motivations are still relevant in our societies today, especially coming out of the pandemic. Maybe we will see flying cities someday soon. For junior Sarah Curran, the book that impacted her the most was one that finally got her out of a reading slump.
I would say the Renegades trilogies impacted me. I used to read a lot when I was younger, and then I kind of stopped around 8th grade. I just wasn't finding books I was interested in. I was in kind of a reading slump, and then sophomore year, my friend told me to read this book, and so I gave it a try, and now I'm really back into reading.
Renegades by Marissa Meyer is a science fiction novel involving special powers, superheroes, and villains. Maybe it will be the book that gets you back into reading. Nowadays, so many people are more focused on social media or online entertainment than reading. But books can be truly impactful, whether they expose a deep issue, have a personal connection, or are simply good books. Put the phone away and find a true connection in a good old paperback. Once again, this is Maya Hamburg reporting from Downers Grove for the Blueprint News Network. Thanks to bensound.com for supplying the royalty-free music used in this video. Thank you so much for listening, and now get to reading.